Afternoon, Shazad. How you doing, you alright? Doing a nice long YouTube video, get as much as I can. Well, there's a bit new. Yeah, the beautiful motor you got there. Absolutely beautiful motor.
Brown car guy.
Hi guys, and today we are joining an anti-ULEZ protest convoy, the first of its kind that is happening in London. Now, this has already started. I'm actually waiting somewhere near the North Circular to join them as they come off the M1, and we'll see if we can do that. And then there's a drive into central London around the usual protest spots that we normally go to, and then back out again. Let's see if I can catch up with this convoy. We got ourselves a convoy. Oh yes, I think I can see the lead vehicle actually. Now this will be interesting because Brent Cross, as usual, is ram-packed, and somehow I've got to figure out how to coordinate joining a convoy vehicle, which I can see now actually. But the convoy leader is a bright red van with anti-ULEZ posters obviously stuck to it. What do I see? Oh, I see a prowler. Wow, that's pretty cool. So there we have, we have joined it. This is interesting. Oh, not done this before. So this should be quite a lot of fun. So somehow I've filtered into a convoy that is going into central London that is all about the anti-ULEZ expansion. This is what we're doing here today. So I don't know how much footage of this I'm going to be able to get, but let's see how it goes. I've been talking to this camera and the camera was off, but anyway, you can see everything on that one, so you can see what's going on. Okay, that's a bit crazy. We are now actually the second car in this convoy. Bizarrely, don't know how that's happened. We are now going into the ULEZ zone. Officially going into the ULEZ zone. This is hilarious. Anyway, just to recap, in case you didn't hear me before, because I had the wrong camera on, although you would have seen me joining the convoy from that camera there. Basically today, we are joining a convoy into central London. This is a protest convoy against the expansion of ULEZ. We are now into the current ULEZ zone, and we've just come in from the area from which they want to expand ULEZ. And we've actually stopped now a little bit. We've just pulled over on the A5 to allow some of those cars to catch up with us again. So it looks like there's a lot more cars than I anticipated behind me. The thing is, I've ended up at the head of the queue. So I'm just behind the convoy leader. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to count how many cars are actually in the convoy. So we have police motorcycle outriders here as well. So it looks like the police are helping with this convoy. They're on board, and they're helping to make this happen. So let's try and get to the back of this queue to see how many cars are actually in the convoy. I know we've been waiting a while. How are you doing? You all right? You good? And we'll see like what's going on, see how many cars. It seems like there's quite a train of cars already. Hello, you all right? One of the issues with doing something like this in central London is just the issue of trying to coordinate a number of cars, trying to get through London, using the bus lanes or whatever. it's a little bit of a problem. Beeping and stuff, but also the thing is the cars going the other way are beeping, so there is a lot of acknowledgement, and there's people by the sides of the roads as well showing their support. Some are upset, but some are showing their support, and there are people waving from the other side of the road and stuff and going, yep, we agree with this. So mixed bag really. My only concern is that I don't want to be disrupting the natural flow of traffic. I don't want to be holding people up unnecessarily. That's not really my thing. Thank you. There's a convoy up ahead. There's lots of cars. Yeah. They all got signs. See up there? That's it, yeah. Yeah. It's about the protest, yeah. Thank you, yeah. It is crazy, absolutely. So there's a fellow driver in support. We're now, as you can see, in central London, and I can hear the convoy rather than see it. As expected, a lot of it, I can actually see a couple of vans up there. It's actually split up quite a bit now. I mean, it's almost impossible to keep a convoy together in the heart of London. I just don't see how you can do it. And I think today's experience proves that. I think it might be better to actually tell everybody to turn up at one spot, prepare a venue for parking and protests, and just do it that way rather than try and drive a convoy through London, especially with the way things are at the moment. So we're now into the heart of London itself. I'm paying congestion charge now, and that's, you know, it could be argued that actually by doing this, we're doing exactly what Zaka Khan wants, which is to make money off the motorists, because we are now having to pay to protest, basically. We're paying to protest against paying. I know, it's kind of weird really, isn't it? And it's something that I don't know how that sits really. It's a little bit odd, but it's inevitable. I mean, at the end of the day, don't want to end up with a fine, right? So yeah, we're all spaced out now. I can still hear the guys up ahead. I can see a couple of cars up ahead, just ahead of me, but it's very spaced out now. So we're going down Piccadilly right now, towards Trafalgar Square, I guess. It's also worth mentioning, all the flags are out, and it's worth mentioning that we're doing this on the same weekend that we are having the official King's coronation here. King Charles's coronation is happening, and the city is basically prepping for that. And so we're driving right to the heart of the city on the same weekend as it's getting ready to for the full pomp and pageantry of the first coronation, and I was going to say a generation, but probably two generations, quite frankly. I gotta say, you know, this is a nerve-wracking experience. It's funny because in the 90s we used to live in London. I used to drive in London all the time, and it was, you know, quite a normal thing to do. But now I barely come into London. When I say London, I mean central London. I hardly ever drive into central London. And every time I do drive into central London, I'm reminded as to why I don't do it. Because it is quite a nerve-wracking experience, you know. Not just the sheer traffic and people and all the rest of it, but just, you know, the yellow boxes and the bus lanes and the cameras, and it all freaks you out. But anyway, we've made it here, hopefully without a fine of some kind or other. But we're just coming into Trafalgar Square now, I can see most of the cars up ahead actually. I can certainly hear them. So somehow a large part of the convoy does appear to have got to Trafalgar Square at around the same time. But the idea of these things is to create an awareness. And I have seen people walking past and having seen the cars talking about ULEZ and talking to each other about what is ULEZ, what's going on here, why are these cars out here? So, cars and vans and trucks I should say. So I think in that sense there's some level of success that you can say for an activation like this. So this camera has now died. I hope you can hear me and see me on that one. But here we are now basically in Parliament Square. It's quite odd actually because it's my second time driving around Parliament Square in the last 2 weeks. I was doing a review of a car earlier which you'll see soon on my channel. But in the meantime, here we are. We've made it this far. I still have to express some uncertainty about the logic of doing this, because you know we're quite far apart. I mean, there's a couple of ULEZ cars behind me and in front of me, and I can hear them up ahead making a lot of noise. But there's lots of activity going on. Like you see, the pavements are all closed off because obviously they're preparing for the King's coronation parades that are going to happen around here. And I don't know whether or not we're managing to get the message across. Although, you know, people are smiling and waving, and you know, some people are saying, yeah, we agree with this, and you can hear the beeps and the toots. So in that sense, it's kind of working. But yeah, here we are now in Parliament Square. We made it this far. So up ahead, I can also see the old fire brigade, the old fire engine actually that we had on the last Trafalgar Square protest event as well. That's up ahead. So I guess we're all following that at the moment. If nothing else, forget about the protest, but it's almost like it's an historical time to be driving a car through London on this occasion and seeing all the setup and seeing the preparation for, you know, what is a historical day coming when the King is crowned. So I've been driving this convoy for coming up to 2 hours now, and we've just gone past Trafalgar Square, Parliament Square, still going, lots of activity.
Where are you from then?
Sorry?
Where are you from then?
I'm from Kingsbury, Northwest. So cyclists, obviously cyclists there taking umbrage. It's a polarizing issue, isn't it? But I guess the polarizing aspect of it is the central London part. And again, the messaging is kind of mixed up a little bit, isn't it? Because we're driving these cars through central London. We're saying stop ULEZ, no to ULEZ. But ULEZ in central London, I mean, I don't have an issue with that, to be honest. I mean, that's, you know, where it is fine, you know. I mean, what's done is done. Just leave it where it is. My point is leave it where it is, you know. The reality is that when you look at the data, when you look at TfL's report, and when you realize that there is little to no benefit of actually extending it, at that point you go, well, hang on. You know, until now you've done this, but now we're like, well, why are we doing this again, you know?
Lunatic. Run it over, fucking.
see the Houses of Parliament. There they are. We've turned around and we're heading back towards Parliament Square. Up ahead is the Routemaster bus, so we've got both of the automotive mascots out today that we have seen on the previous Trafalgar Square protest events. So we've got both the fire engine and also the Routemaster bus with Kingsley at the wheel of that, and I can actually hear him. He's got his loudspeakers on, that's for sure. So as you can hear, the beeping is still going on, but we're heading out now. We've just passed Oxford Circus and we're heading out, and I think we're going to get the Westway and head over to West London, where I think we're going to drop by at TV Centre. But it's not been easy, I gotta be honest with you. It's been a tough journey. The cars just get split up. It's very hard to do a convoy. The speeds are very low, average speed of about 4 or 5 miles per hour. My car has not been happy at that speed, I gotta be honest with you. You know, first gear is too much and second gear is not quite happy with. So the car's not happy, my left leg is not happy from all the clutch pumping, and actually even my elbow's starting to feel it from all the gear changing. But yeah, so it's not an easy one, it's not an easy thing to do. And but it's an important message, so I think that's the key thing here. The only grief I've had, most of it, you've had thumbs up from people and people beeping their horns and waving and smiling and generally approving of what's going on. But the only grief we've had is from cyclists. May I? It's okay, you can cross now. it's just changed. The only grief we've had is from cyclists, really. But then that's not really surprising, isn't it, somehow? But I think that maybe the messaging is confused. Like I said before, maybe they are assuming that we want ULEZ to be cancelled completely. And that's not where I stand in particular. So I think maybe there's a confusion of message there. It's okay when there's a static protest or a march or something like that. But I guess when there's cars, it's like, well, you're bringing the cars into London. I'd love to hear your opinions. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this. I'd love to hear if you were on the drive itself. I want to hear from you. If you weren't on the drive, why weren't you on the drive? If you feel strongly about ULEZ, but why weren't you on the drive? If you were on the drive, why did you feel that it was important to be on the drive? I want to hear from people that how they feel about whether these sort of things, particularly this sort of moving protest, is worth doing as opposed to the normal static protest that we do. So there you go. But yeah, I think that pretty much, because it's been it's been almost impossible for me to get any footage of the protest cars and you know of the parade itself. It just hasn't been possible. I can't drive and film at the same time. So unfortunately, this is limited by what I could have done today, and that's hopefully you'll have got some idea of what it was like to be on the anti-ULEZ expansion protest drive today. It's quite funny. We brought the ULEZ right to the heart of the TV Centre now. The Westway, we're getting lots of people passing by and beeping their horns and showing their support. It's a very interesting one. It's like here you go. So people see the cars, it's a convoy, and they start beeping and waving, and So I suppose in a sense it's really been a success. We've got to have a big shout out and a thanks to the people that put this together, the guys that actually organized this event, because you can't imagine how much goes into this. To also have the logistical support of the police and the various police as well, because they came down the M1. So it's a big task, it's a big effort. How successful it's been, it's a really difficult thing to say, but certainly there's been a little bit of awareness from what we've done and what we've shown. Like, this is the same sort of thing, you know. And I think that, you know, one of the key issues with ULEZ is to just create more and more awareness. I think that not enough people still know about ULEZ, what it means for a lot of people, the hardships it's going to cause, and what's coming on the back of ULEZ, which, as we now know, it's been confirmed, is going to be pay per mile. So I think in that sense it's been a fantastic effort. Again, would love to hear your comments. Let me know what you think of it. And from my side, I think I prefer the static event, or maybe if we have a static car event. Now that could be interesting.
Brown car guy.
Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please hit the like button and share this video as well if you can. And while you're at it, check out these guys who also sponsor my content. I am deeply grateful to them because it helps me to buy new equipment, put fuel in the cars, and yes, buy a cup of coffee. You can do the same. Just go here or right here on YouTube. Just hit these 3 little dots down here and click on thanks. Make sure you're signed in first. My content is free, but this is how you can help me keep it that way. I may even send you a gift. Oh, by the way, watch this next.